Hi, I'm Scott Schmidt. Over the next half hour or so, I'm going to share some of my experience in the mountains and give you some tips on working the steeps.
Hello, I'm Greg Stump, and over the past 5 ski seasons I've had the good fortune to film and ski with one of the best skiers of our time, Scott Schmidt.
I don't like the way things are going in the States with ski resorts all regulated and everything by fat lawyers and insurance companies. It's not fair to real skiers who are able to ski these radical things, but these insurance companies won't let us ski these things that are totally within our abilities.
Unlike most sports figures, Schmidt has reached his pinnacle without ever winning a World Cup competition. Instead, the status of Scott Schmidt has been built entirely on his skiing technique and his keen mountain sense, as seen in the many films that Scott has appeared in.
Scott, do you want to try to ski it?
Yeah, I'll ski it for sure.
Okay. Whoa. That's all right. It's cool here, Murray, then?
Yeah.
All right.
God, you gotta see that.
Mike, are you going to go in?
Yeah.
Here comes. 3, 2, 1. Yeah. Steep.
Scott's technique originated from his strong race background as a boy in his home state of Montana.
Actually, I raced against Scott quite a few years ago when I first came here, and he was a junior racer and he kicked everyone's ass, basically.
It was a head-to-head format, dual bump pro style race, and I ended up going in the semifinals by beating this guy out, and we just figured it out, and it's pretty funny.
The bad thing about it is that, you know, I came here, I was supposed to be this hot slalom racer, and I looked over in the start and I saw this 16-year-old kid, you know, and blonde hair, and he was ready to go, and I was just saying, oh, this will be cake, I'm in the finals, you know.
Scott moved to Squaw Valley, California for the intense race program there. When his finances eventually ran thin, he began pitting himself against some of the unskied couloirs and chutes, not for film glory, but for fun. It was these early days
Over the years, I've been asked many times what's different about my equipment. I use stock products that can be found in any alpine retail shop. I can only share with you the performance characteristics of equipment that I prefer. Equipment is ever-changing, and you must search on your own until you are confident and comfortable with yours. I will normally free ski on ski lengths between 207 and 210, although I have gained most of my experience with air and speed on downhill skis. 220s are powerful tools, and they can expand your limits considerably. I have always skied on racing skis with a soft flex in the tip. This has always given me the performance I need, and they will not dive in crud or powder. I use a rear entry foamed boot for its convenience and its fit. With any boot, it is important to be warm and comfortable. There should be absolutely no leg play or looseness in the fit. Bindings and their settings are critical, and to lose a ski in the wrong place or time can be a disaster. You should never trust adjustments made by someone else, and you should know your gear and how to use it. You should never just walk out of your skis in a turn or on a landing. Use caution and ease into these higher settings a little bit at a time. With time and experience, you will find the proper setting for yourself. I have designed a line with the North Face that meets my every need for skiing and climbing. It has specific carry item and tool placements and a full venting system. It also integrates the use of a harness and a ski sling. The ski sling is quick to use and allows you hands-free climbing. Venturing into steep terrain and backcountry areas demands the use of extra equipment and rules. Obviously, years of experience will teach you your own personal rules, but here are some basics. Always ski and climb with a small group or a partner, keeping some distance and separation between each member. Each member should carry a working peeps, and they should be tested before each outing. Every other member should carry a shovel. And assume that you know nothing about avalanches. Try to use your intuition. Remember, there are a lot of dead experts out there.
Now let's go work on the moves.
It is my intention here to share some of the insights and techniques that have worked for me. This is only one way of looking at it, and I can only hope that it may inspire you to find the answers to your questions through your own personal experience. When you hear, you forget, and when you see, you remember, but when you do, you will understand. Physical skill and style comes naturally and is a byproduct of internal imagery development. Skiing is a very dynamic sport, and it is important to ski with an open mind. Do not get locked into a static position trying to look like a particular image or your favorite photograph. As a young ski racer, I established good technical and mechanical basics, and I always stress the importance of a good technical base and established technique. A sound technique will make steep skiing easier and safer, and it will give you more power and force. Enter all steep turns with an anticipated relaxed upper body, completely independent from your legs. Try to feel your skis as independent units, with the center of your force balanced and in the middle of your skis. This is the game of keeping center weight on steep terrain by lowering your seat considerably, therefore moving you slightly back. The edge set should always begin with your outside ski, and it's the steepness that determines when the transfer onto the inside ski happens, a feeling only practice and experience can teach you. It is from this position on your inside ski that your leg is cocked and ready to lift you off the snow into your next turn. Using your uphill edge like this is a very effective way to ski on steep terrain. It also gives you the extension you need to get the lift off the snow needed to completely redirect your skis in the air. I'm often asked if I sit back and powder. The fact is, your style and technique should never change. You should always keep your balance in the center of your skis. Deep snow just allows you to use a little body friction to control your speed. Turn has been misunderstood for some time. The term actually came from Bridger Bowl, Montana. The locals there would use the smear as a full braking move in between very tight sections in some of the chutes there. The biggest mistake you can make when doing a smear is to just sit down and lose the force of the ski's edge. Instead, it's a game of mixing a little body friction with full edge force. With this much angulation, you'll find that all the force and weight will be on your uphill ski. Easy move, and it will take practice. The first thing you need to do is find a wall or a wave with a good in-run, and it needs to have at least 1 to 2 feet of vertical in the lip. You're going to need more speed than you think to get up the wall. Try to land back on the steep part of the wall. If you ever land in the bottom or in the hole, you'll know what I mean. Remember, a good re-entry depends on initiation with a slight pole plant, then rotate your shoulders and upper body toward your landing point. Selecting good jumping areas is a good idea, and you should always leave yourself a margin for mistakes, or an escape route for the unforeseen. Use an up unweighting motion for slow or stationary takeoffs. Practice on small cornices before getting into cliffs and rocky areas. Pay attention to your body position. Remain in a low, drop seat position during flight. Always land with a strong plant of the skis, followed by the hip, then the body. This was going to be a nice little airplane turn over some rocks in the top of Granite Chief in the direct chute. I got to this point and I decided to change my mind. It was a long ways down. I tried to keep it moving so I wouldn't get stuck. Air over obstacles like this is useful, and sometimes it's the best way just to get out of a situation. Just push off with your uphill ski and try to land completely sideways and in control. It was very steep below here, and control was my main concern. I've jumped on the Palisades before and had the skis completely lifted over my head. On this jump the wind was blowing pretty good from the east, straight up the hill, and I did get pushed back a little bit, even though I anticipated the wind. It's very important to keep a low position so the body doesn't get blown back. Dropping in air like this can be a true test of skill and courage. Although it is a fine line, your courage should never exceed your ability. Courage and fear are connected. They are opposites, but they can't stand alone. Fear and courage, poorly balanced, can be tragic, and it's up to the character of each individual to find proper balance. I'm going to show you a proper technique for putting skis on steep terrain. I've seen a lot of people stumble around in dangerous areas. That's why this technique is probably one of the safest. Simply sink your ski 45 degrees to the slope, step on the tail, clean your boot, and click in. Brace yourself with this ski, take it out, set an edge. Once you got an edge set, the next one's easy. This is another tip on removing skis in steep terrain. You don't want to slip and stumble, so sink that tail again and simply pull it off. You can walk out of this one and step down below your skis. Pick up your skis and don't kick them down the hill. A common mistake that I see people attempting is trying to do kick turns in exposed or dangerous parts of the mountain. There is an option to the kick turn which is much safer and much more balanced. Place one pole at the tail of your skis, the other one at the tip, and hop the skis around and set them. It's safe, quick, and you get out of there. This next section is all ripping action. Use it for imagery. Watch it, rewind it, and mentally lock it into your brain. hope you've gathered some pointers and ideas as well as images for your skiing. Be patient and give yourself time to become good. Keep your eyes open